I don't know if you mind or not, but I'd like to make a motion to push off the January board meeting because it's on a holiday. It's on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Certainly, yeah, there's no problem.
Because that's what happened last. Good.
That's our accounting firm.
Oh, okay. All right.
We changed from to that.
Okay.
Why don't you take one of those microphones for Cindy? Are you gonna need a microphone? Obsolete equipment? When is the auction?
Thank you.
Who you going with? Okay, so we'll just call this the list provided, right? There's nothing, there's small stuff. Okay, so you want to scrap these, auction these? We'll just include this in the list. All right, everyone, I'd like to call the meeting tonight. It's 7 o'clock. If you'll all join me in a moment of silence, followed by the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. First item on the agenda is the approval of the November 20th board meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? I have one item that I'd just like to clarify for the record. I just want the record clear. On page 7,
You have the minutes?
I don't.
Cindy, did you give everyone minutes?
Yeah,
You guys have your minutes?
I emailed them.
Well, I'm gonna proceed. You can read, you can share mine if you want, Jerry. Nobody has minutes? Okay, so anyway, under old business, page 7, at our November 20th meeting, Highway and Water it's under old business, Highway and Water Superintendent Dirk Lamis questioned why he has not yet received payment for voucher 4326 he submitted. Dirk stated that at a meeting in June, supervisor asked for a motion for him to be given a verbal warning or a letter of censure for the breach of the ethics policy regarding Sam Lamis's invoice. The meeting that Mr. Lamis was referring to, I just want to clear the record. On June 7th, at the work meeting, the minutes reflect what happened. There was no motion made. No resolution asked, no motion made. The minutes state, Supervisor Sidonio said that it is the recommendation from the attorney that Dirk either be given a verbal warning or letter of censure for the breach of the ethics policy regarding Sam Lamis's invoice. It's not, there was no, my point is there is no resolution here. And no, I never asked for a motion or a resolution, so I want the record just to be clear on that.
I'll make that change.
Thank you. Well, if there was a motion, excuse me, we're talking about the record right now. We're not going to debate it. You can debate that later. But the record states that if I had made a motion or asked for a resolution, it would have been reflected by law in the minutes. And it's not there, so it didn't happen. So anyway, so I would like my comment added to this month's meeting minutes. And that's the only thing I have to say about the minutes. Is there any other discussion?
No.
So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes with my comments added.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Reitmeyer, second by Mr. Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Any standing committee reports?
I've got one for Highway and Water. If nobody has one for the town clerk or assessor, I don't know if we're going in order.
No, anybody that's got something, go right ahead.
I've actually got 3 things. First and foremost, if you don't already know, we had a water main break in the town of Murray here back on December 3rd. If anybody remembers that weekend, it rained most of the weekend and we had a thunder and lightning storm on Sunday the 3rd. I didn't even know about the water main break until I got a text from my next door neighbor saying, hey, my water's off. So I went to my faucet and lo and behold, I didn't have water either. So I got a hold of Dirk and we made a lot of phone calls, calling people to see who had water, who didn't. Made some posts on Murray's Facebook pages to try to let people know what was going on. And I just wanted to commend Dirk and the guys in the highway department for the work they did that night. It was not the greatest night in the world. It took a while to find the thing, but really nobody suffered that long a period of time without having water. And eventually the repairs were made.
Pretty tough to find a leak when the ditches are running full.
Yeah, we were driving down the road looking for water bubbling up on the ground. It was kind of hard because it was already water in most of the ditches that weekend anyway, so. Yep. But I wanted to thank Dirk and the highway guys for the work they did. Also, I wanted to make a couple statements on behalf of the board. Over the past several months, there have been 2 separate issues raised by our town supervisor regarding ethics improprieties involving our highway superintendent, Dirk Lamis. The first issue involved the ditching bucket, a specialized piece of equipment. This bucket was not available commercially, but it was designed to save the highway department both time and money. The bucket was designed and manufactured by several people, including Dirk's son. The supervisor felt there was impropriety, and the town of Murray's attorney felt several ethics violations had been broken. Dirk Lamis and his attorney both felt they were well within their right, and there was two opposing positions, each party feeling they were right. It's the board's position that communication could have been better on both sides. It's also the board's position that Mr. Lamis did nothing illegal, was not derelict in his duty, and no censure or disciplinary action should be taken as a result of this incident. The town of Murray is in full support of our highway superintendent, and we believe no further comments need to be made. The second incident involved scrap metal monies collected recently by a highway employee. Those monies were turned over to Mr. Lamis and held by him with a receipt. The monies were not immediately turned in, and the supervisor brought this point up at our most recent town board meeting. The following day, an email regarding the missing money was sent to all the town board members, and our town attorney was also copied in. That week, Dirk handed the money into our town clerk with a receipt, and those monies were placed in the town's vault. Simple communication between the town supervisor and the highway superintendent would have resolved this situation in short order. Attempting to embarrass the highway superintendent at a town board meeting serves no purpose other than to drive a larger wedge between two elected officials. The town of Murray is in full support of our highway superintendent, and we believe no further comments need to be made. Sincerely, town board members Bauer, Christ, Christopher, and Reitmeyer.
Anything else?
No.
Well, I'm going to respond to you. And what I would like to know is why the monies weren't turned over immediately. Number two, why was the money held for a year? And why is the money from part of the funding from 2022? Hang on, I'm not done. These are questions that I have that I wasn't raising to the public. Okay, I sent an email asking for the funds to be sent to me because they need to be. That's the law. I requested them 2 weeks in a row and didn't get anything. At the meeting here, it was a $300 quote, two trips to the scrapyard. It turns out to be closer to $2,000 of money, held again for about a year. Okay, and I have the paperwork here if you need to see that. And they're not receipts, it's a statement.
I'm not aware of $2,000 being held by anybody. That's
Okay.
complete total news to me. It was $300.
No, it's $1,940.
News to me.
Okay,
It
so
wasn't brought up
before
at our
you,
last meeting.
no, because that's what was stated. I asked for the money and then I get $1,950 basically in cash in an envelope dropped on my desk by the clerk.
No, nothing about that.
That's a lot of money.
But
And
then,
it was also a year old.
no, nothing about that.
Okay, so maybe the board should talk to the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer about the money, because that's my job. And it's going to be yours soon, okay?
It works both ways.
Sure it
The board
does.
can talk to you.
Right.
You can inform the board. I wasn't informed until just now about $1,900.
Well, why don't you come in and ask? It's right here.
Supervisor?
Hold on a minute, I'm talking to Mr. Reitmeyer. Right there is what I was received on 12/12/1938/26 in cash, not $300. And if you look here, it's back to 12/22. Okay? Why wasn't almost half of that money reported in the year of 2022 in cash?
If that was the case, why would we be talking about it in 2023?
Because I just discovered it,
Well,
okay?
if you just discovered it, I'm just finding
Well,
out
how
about
about
it.
you support the supervisor when he figures something out and he's asking that we take the cash out of the system and require a check be made for all scrap sales, and then we're done. I'm not accusing anyone of stealing anything. I'm saying we got an internal control problem here.
Well, as far as money's being turned in, anytime I've ever gone to the scrapyard, it's always been cash. And they
Well-
always give me a receipt.
That's fine. That's you personally. I called scrap companies they will write a check. I have the comptroller's paperwork here and guidance right here on what we should be doing. And I spoke to them, and they recommend a resolution today to take that out of the situation. I'm speaking to the board.
I have a question.
I'm speaking to the board.
I have a question.
Hey, hold your question. I'll give you a chance there, Mr. Lamis. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, there's a lot I want to say.
Okay, great.
This is all brand new to me.
Okay, well, you're the one who brought it up, and I'm here to tell you, there was almost $2,000 worth of cash, not 300. So how about a little consideration
There's
there?
nothing here that I stated tonight that's untrue.
Okay.
Everything in this statement, both statements, is 100% accurate.
I'm glad you're bringing it up publicly. You could come in and talk to the supervisor, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time you walked into my office? You've never walked into my office.
Actually, it's funny you say that because since I've been on the board, I have not received one call from you
I'm the one who asked you
since
to
last
join the board.
November.
I'm the one who asked you to join the board, if you remember.
I know I should give you all the credit in the world. You did everything. You got me on the board. I mean, hell, you probably got me elected too.
Is there anything else? Because I'd like to stick to the agenda, get the town business done.
Yeah, I made
Okay.
my statement.
Okay, well, I'm glad you did, and I hope you feel big and strong about it.
No, not at all.
Is there, yes, Mr. Lamis?
So what was the objective of bringing it up at a meeting in front of people and asking whether we took scrap?
We're doing business here. We don't have our work meetings anymore,
No,
okay?
you're missing the question.
I asked you a legitimate question about business.
So anybody with a professionalism would send a text or an email and inquire about something.
I just got
And get things
criticized
done.
for sending an email to you asking for the money.
Or Dirk,
No,
just
prior
walk down to
to-
your office and say,
prior to
hey,
that.
what's up with the money?
But
Instead of bringing it up at a
because of
town board
past-
meeting,
Well,
right?
well,
That's
what are
how
you
I
guys
handle
bringing
it.
all this up for tonight? What are you bringing it all up? I asked what
It was
the,
brought up at the last board
Did you bring this up
meeting.
the last meeting, and how much money was it mentioned at the last meeting? With this
I
crap?
just asked.
Wasn't it
$300, right?
I thought
It was 300
$300. Now, where did this other money come out of? How come
It
this
just
thing-
showed up on my desk, and I got statements, not receipts.
Yeah,
How
you got
does it just show
receipts.
up in your desk?
It didn't
Cindy
show up
brought
on
it
your
up.
desk.
You got
Don't act like I
weight
dropped it
slips. You
off.
got
I
weight
gave it to
slips.
you.
Well, Cindy gave it to me. She walked in and said, here, I got the scrap money here. That's how I got it, Mike.
You got weight slips with the receipts.
I didn't get wage slips, I got two statements.
No, you got weight slips.
Here's the statements, okay?
Where's the money in the weight slips?
What's a statement?
I don't know, Dirk, you're the one who's in charge of
I turned
that.
them in.
Okay,
That's
well,
what
to
I'm
who?
saying.
Who'd you turn them into? You sure didn't turn them
I
into
turned
me.
the clerk, and they were with each money individually,
Here's what we got. Does that look like a weight statement? Does
and,
that look like a weight statement?
well, that's a statement of accounts to go all the way back.
That's
What's
a
the big
statement of
deal?
account too. That's what I
It shows
got.
everything that was done,
Well, it's a year old.
so that there's no questions that there's a weight ticket missing.
I'm not,
It jived
Dirk, I'm
with-
not saying there's money missing. I'm saying we're gonna take, I would like to take the cash out of the system. Okay? Because it's a problem.
And there was other problems that you don't know about, and there was reasons that don't need to be brought up of why I did what I did. If you're accusing me of taking money.
No
just-
accusing here.
Okay.
I'm
then
saying-
I don't think you need to grandstand in front of people. This is a internal matter. You take care
Excuse
of
me,
things
excuse me,
professionally-
excuse me.
Professionally.
Mr. Reitmeyer just grandstanded, okay?
You need pontificate.
We're moving on.
So,
We're moving on. That's enough, Dirk.
So-
We're sticking to the agenda. This isn't gonna be a dog and pony show.
How come on
Okay.
the agenda you didn't have what you talked?
Shut up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You wanna take me outside, Joe?
Oh, just order, okay?
You tried that
Order,
twice.
order. Here, we're done.
there's a
All
lot of
right.
things that don't go on the agenda. and don't
We're
get
done,
resolved.
Dirk. Dirk, we're done, okay? Anything else on standing committee, fair people? All right. Cindy,
November receipts totaled $1,099.80, with $500.38 going into the general fund. I received a tax roll, the 2024 tax roll from real property last week. Today I imported the new bills into our system. The physical tax bills have been delivered, and Annette and myself will begin to go through the bank requisitions tomorrow. They'll be sent out on December 30th. Tax collector's notice has been sent to the Batavia Daily News and will be published twice, once on the 23rd and once on the 30th. That's it.
Thank you, Cindy. All right, Dirk, highway and water.
I have nothing for highway and water. I took care of Sun King and what the requests were for just notification. We have to work on surveillance of where the drop-off area is. That's about it. I'm not gonna add any more. It might be used against me.
Dirk, do you want to just tell the board about these items you want to add to the auction?
There are miscellaneous tools that aren't being used. They're kicking around the shop. They're just not being used anymore. They don't get touched. I'd like to put them in the auction with the truck that'll be up to add to that, and take a picture and do it all at one time.
Okay, and it's Cheatsworth, and he's coming before the end of the year. And did you guys get a list? You got a list? So it's, we're not gonna go through and identify each one. They can be published the way they have to be, whatever it is, right. And then there's some obsolete things that he may consider scrapping. And we also got in our mailbox, you wanna talk about this truck, Dirk?
There's a date on there to get it in for June purchase. I think it's the 25th of December or something like that, or
I see, I'm trying to figure out what you got here. I see.
so one's the body and one's the truck.
Right,
Two
up
separate
above, up
companies.
above here. What's this resolution dated 12/27/2019?
They would,
Is that just a typo?
yeah, of 19.
That's what the first paragraph says
Yeah,
here.
probably a typo. He was trying to rush it to get it over here for the meeting. I told him when he sent that over, there was a meeting coming up. Somewhere's on there, I think they need notice to get it in for their orders for June. That specific truck could be built and ready for delivery around June, July timeframe
Of 24?
of 24.
Okay, this
There's
is
a
saying
whole
25.
one.
This is saying 25. 2025,
It's a 2025 truck,
right.
but it'll be a June build date. And I asked him June of 2024, and he said yes. And we're the only company, everybody else is out a year. And I can clarify that with them, but it's more or less information that they're gonna need to know in order to have that build date by the end of the year.
This is dated December 1st. Why are we getting it right now?
I just put it together for
What do you guys want to do with that?
I think we'll talk about that at our organizational meeting on January 2nd. How about that?
That's fine.
right.
Joe, it's a start. It's something I had. I still have to refine the body. Those are the quotes I got for the body and the plows. You know, it's not like the old days ordering stuff. Every time you turn around, dates change, prices change. You can't get people to come out and quote anything. It's a headache. It's not like it used to be ever since COVID. Nothing's been the same.
What's happening with the Holly Murray water agreement?
Don't know. The attorney 2 years ago said there'd be a slam dunk in court. We followed the contract. If we want to amend the contract, I feel that Holly should have sent something to the town board asking for an amendment. They quit paying their meter fees, which are outstanding. They actually have an outstanding water bill, which they don't understand. They owe, I believe it's $3,100 in water usage consumption. figure out, are we going to follow the contract to the end of the year and revisit it and talk to them and modify the contract so there's no charge on either end for the meters? Their contract to us said there'd be no, there's no charge to us for the meter fee, but we were to charge them. If we want to modify it at the beginning of the year and start fresh, so be it, but we are continuing to bill. And do we want to credit or get rid of the fees we've already billed for?
Well, what do you want to do?
It does, I just want to clean up the invoice. I said 2 years ago, I wanted to clean up the invoice and have a letter sent by the attorney, and the advice was not to do it from our attorney. And here we are now, back and forth. They wanted to shut our water off at one point because we weren't paying their meter fee, which we're not supposed to, and it's just become a mess. And here we are, I sent it to the attorney, and now it's gonna cost us fees.
Well, the attorney talked to their attorney to try to bring some sense to the whole thing, and didn't that?
I'm
Did
out
that
of,
get anywhere?
I'm out of the loop. I don't get any of the emails. I started it with the attorney and told him what was going on, but then I get left up, so I'm out. I don't get included in any of it. So I think it's a board decision, and we will bill and do whatever the board wants.
So just a couple of points about the contract. There's two different contracts, one for Water District 1 and one for the IDA, right? They supply us for Route 31, we supply them for the IDA. Our contract says we take care of our meter and we charge for that, right, at the IDA.
Yep.
Their contract says they'll take care of the meter and they do not charge it.
No,
No.
we maintain and calibrate that meter. It says, doesn't say who owns it, who purchases it, who has to replace it. It is their meter, they're selling the water, so it acts like a cash register for them. It's their cash register, why would we take care of it? But that's the contract from 2009, there's been no issue. So, it stands to reason to let them be in charge of their meter
I
and
agree.
them maintain it, and then they don't charge us. You know, there is a replacement cost for this stuff, but there were things that were maybe thought about, and the contract was written a certain way for a certain reason that we don't know. You know, those people aren't around anymore, and they would like to modify it, I guess. And then they did buy a new meter for that pit, but if they want to assume full responsibility for it, the contract for their meter pit and their meter used to say we had to test and calibrate it and maintain it. So we were absorbing that cost and helping them out so they didn't have to do it. If we want to switch it and they want to be in charge of it, I guess let them be in charge of it.
Well, I think if we're gonna simplify it, I think, Dirk, you should just go through it and find out what you like and what you don't like, and give the board a proposal of this is what I'd like to be in the contract. Since if we're gonna charge them and they're gonna charge us the same fee, it's a wash,
Right.
right? So if they're upset about the meter fee, you know, but they should take care of their own meter. And so we reword that part of it. And also, the other thing, if I could just interject, that I think needs to be in there is somewhere we're charging them a fixed cost plus, what is it, a dime over, a nickel over? Their language says a reasonable cost. So there's ambiguity there to argue about. So let's take all the ambiguity out of it. Cost plus this amount on both sides. We eliminate the meter fees. They take care of their meter, we take care of our meter, and we're all done. Does that make sense? Is it that easy?
Makes sense to me. I gave them a year ago, I told them to present what they wanted to change and send it to me to present to the board, and I never got anything. So it's not a lack of, trying to get somebody to.
Kurt, what if you put it, write a letter, put it in writing, and take it to them, and have them sign it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, they want to modify it, they should be paying their attorney or whatever they want, and
Right.
present it to us instead of us wasting our time for everything.
That's right.
And doing it. You know, that's their change, and they want to do it. They should present it, and we should vote on it, and you know, do we like it or not?
But then we'd have to change our
But we-
contract if we're gonna take the meter fee out.
Right. It's a matter of just not having a fee, and if we want to change the rate, the problem is as soon as we change the rate, they change yours. That's the same thing. It's a wash there too. The only thing I did when I came in is I brought the rates to current. We were not charging the right amount of money. We were selling it for less than what we paid.
But we have money owed to the town, correct?
Right now, we have money just for water owed to us.
It seems to me, it's-
And the meat, if you want to follow the old contract and the meat. If you want to forgive some of that, that's up to the board. We're trying to collect, they refuse to pay. They don't understand that there's water consumption, there was a little mix up, there's water consumption there that's broken out of it. They paid the next bill and they skipped right over the water consumption, this bill, where they paid the current, the old consumption. So, to me, it's pretty simple.
Right, so why don't we just simplify it, take the lead on it, give them a proposal of the changes on both sides, and say, here's what we're proposing. It's pretty simple stuff.
yeah, but we still gotta get paid for what they owe, correct?
If we want to hold fast on that, we can do that.
That's something that it seems like they don't want to
At least to the end of this
They
year.
don't want to really discuss it with us, right, Alexis?
I don't remember who I talked to, but the clerk there is not.
Okay, so again, there's a board in agreement to have Dirk just put together what he thinks are legitimate items in the contract on both sides. Run it by the board here, just informally, and you can just go take it, you know, to them and say, this is what we're proposing. And then at the end, we can have a lawyer make sure the language is right. It's easy enough to do that.
Do you want it to be both?
I would.
They would have to be the same. Otherwise,
Right.
I mean, we're doing the same thing.
Is
They
this-
would have to be the same.
Right.
So,
And
Now,
then
we
you
can
can-
come to an agreement right now, but we still need to get paid,
the
right?
biggest, the biggest thing is they want to get rid of them. That's their biggest argument. They don't want to pay the meter.
Which it seems to me is gonna be a legal issue then, right, between the village and the town? The attorney's gonna have to figure out what contract is, you know, superseding the other, and
There's a bunch of price difference between the meter and the water bill is. Dick?
There's the water's $3,100 and some dollars.
$33.11 is the change for the water, and then I think the meter card is up to
$750.
$800 or $900.
Is it that high?
It was $750 plus another $150.
Oh, after December.
Okay, so,
So,
all right, so I think we know what we're doing there. You're gonna work on that and then, present it. Ideas, it's not, you're not gonna present a contract, you're gonna say, are we in agreement here, and we'll draft a contract. All right, so, and again, the one thing I wanna get out of their contract is what's a reasonable markup, because that's ambiguity. We got, moving on to the next thing, we got code enforcement, planning and zoning. We got a report from them. Any comments, questions? Okay. Mr. Fitzak, you're here. You want a microphone?
No,
You're-
I'm not. I had a meeting the other day with Jesse Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council and the Clean Energy Communities Program. I think you guys should have all gotten an email today, if not, I'll get it tomorrow. NYSERDA is pumping a ton of money into the communities for this clean energy stuff. Right now, the email will show you a comparison of all municipalities, the 10 towns, 4 villages in the county, and where everyone stands in comparison with each other. One of the things that they're doing, what NYSERDA is doing, is for a vehicle inventory or fleet inventory, they're giving, just to fill out that paperwork, you're gonna get $10,000. So that's part of the program. When you guys get the emails, look into it, and then go through and contact Rob Richardson up at Jesse Finger Lakes, and he will try to get you guys as much money as possible.
Great.
There's funds that are out there right now. Other than that, I want to wish the board and the town a very Merry Christmas and a healthy Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, let's move right on down to new business. Mr. Reitmeyer brought to my attention that he would like to move the January town board meeting from January 15th to January 22nd because of a holiday conflict. So with that, I'll ask for a motion and a second to approve moving the January 2024 meeting from January 15th to January 22nd. Motion by Mr. Chris, second by Mr. Reitmeyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
So it's going to be 22nd.
22nd, 7 o'clock. And then the next item is Stephanie Holtz, our assessor, had requested earlier, and we budgeted for increasing the Board of Assessment Review membership from 3 members to 5 members. Is there any questions or comments on that?
I agree with you.
Okay, so with that, I'll ask for a motion to increase the membership of the Board of Assessment Review in the year of 2024 from 3 members to 5 members. Motion by Chris, second by Christopher. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Joe, if I could just, I talked to Stephanie Holtz here the other day about this, and if anybody's got questions as to why we're going from 3 members to 5 members, her explanation was, sometimes in small towns, you can have relatives that might both be on the Board of Assessment Review, which, as you could well imagine, might present some problems when it comes to assessments. So following what most other townships do, they have 5. She recommended we go with 5, and I fully support it, so.
Okay. And the next item is to accept the resignation of Elaine Berg from the Board of, I'm going to combine 2 positions she has in this resolution. Accepting the resignation of Elaine Berg from the Board of Assessment Review and the Planning Board effective 12/6 of 2023. Motion by Chris.
Second.
Second by Christopher. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And then I'll ask for a motion and a second to reappoint Eric Collier to the Zoning Board of Appeals to a term beginning 1/1 of 24 and ending 12/31 of 28. I'll ask for a motion. He's the chairman.
Chairman.
He's been there.
I think we'd like to save that for our operational meeting on January 2nd, if we can so do that. Sounds like that's been the precedent that's been set. Just to make those appointments at the operational meeting at the first of the year.
No, we make them when they're due, but if that's what the board would like to do, is, so, the board in agreement with that, to just do it in January? All right, so we will let the minutes reflect that, Cindy, that we are going to make appointments to the Zoning Board of Appeal for Eric Collier and for Dorothy Morgan at the organizational meeting. And then I will ask the board before we proceed, what about Mr. Alexis Penna, appointing her to the account clerk full-time effective 1/1/24. Do you want to do that at the organizational meeting, or do you want to do that now?
Yeah, we prefer to do that at the organizational meeting, which
Okay.
will be January 2nd.
Okay, so that, we will skip that resignation. well, do you want to accept her resignation as effective 12/31 of 2023?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I'll ask for a motion and a second to accept the resignation of Alexis Penna as account clerk part-time effective 12/31 of 2023.
That's not gonna, Cindy, will you have does that affect anything about taking, okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Reitmeyer, second by Christ. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we're going to skip appointing her. And then we are going to move on to authorizing the supervisor to execute the local government support services engagement letter for 2024. That is our accountant's contract. You've all seen that, and we've budgeted for it. So I'll ask for a motion in a second to authorize that engagement.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Reitmeyer, second by Christopher. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And at the last meeting, we discussed this business of the, second here, of the establishment of the Orleans County District Court. And I was asked to request a resolution at this meeting that the town board of the town of Murray resolve in opposition to the establishment of an Orleans County District Court. With that, I'll ask for a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Reitmeyer, second by Mr. Christopher. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Then, as we discussed earlier, and I'd like to keep it as civil as possible here on this scrap situation. Again, it's an internal control issue. Cash sales are frowned upon. And the state comptroller has suggested making a resolution prohibiting cash sales at scrap yards and require setting up accounts and having checks mailed to the town. So with that, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to require that scrap material sale proceeds shall be paid only by check from the vendor and shall, let's see, I have it here, only checks from the vendor shall be accepted for the payment of scrap material, and on no occasion shall cash be accepted for payment. All checks are to be made payable to the town and sent to the attention of the town supervisor.
You won't need a motion on that.
Why?
It's already been done.
What has been done?
All the paperwork for making out checks just for cash. No cash, I mean, all checks, junk in cash. We was out for Dirk and I was out there the other day talking to her.
To who?
Vice President and General Manager,
That's one place.
she runs them all.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're going to set up an account.
It's set up.
It's set up, so you conducted business without going through the town board. I thought we were a body. But anyway, it's good. So why don't we need a resolution to set up a policy for that?
I don't know. I'm just saying that it was all said and done out there.
I think it's fantastic that you took the initiative to do that. Now I'm going to ask the board for
Well, there
a
was
formal.
initiative to do some other things too. That's why it was brought up.
So what about a policy here and a formal policy on the record that that's how it is?
Well, if the board wants it, not a problem.
Okay. Again, I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second for a resolution prohibiting this cash sale of town scrap. All town scrap sales are to be paid by check payable to the town of Murphy. Can I have a motion in a second for that?
Since I know a lot about scrap.
Excuse
can I
me,
make a suggestion?
excuse me. Okay, so no one wants to make that motion. I will just advise you that I'm gonna report that back to the comptroller's office.
Well,
It's okay. They recommended that I do what I'm doing, and if the board doesn't want to do it, I'm just gonna let them know that the board said no.
well, there's some other reasons there too, Joe. One was last meeting, after the meeting, you showed me a picture.
Now, Lloyd, we're talking about a
No,
resolution for
Let
policy.
Lloyd speak. Lloyd's a board member. He has the right to speak.
Okay,
You showed me a picture of a man at a counter. 3-4 pictures of a guy at a counter counting money. I let it go and went home. A couple days it bothered me. Why did you want a picture of somebody counting money on a countertop at a junkyard?
can I tell you something? I didn't want it. That just came to me,
Just out of the blue.
out of the blue.
Okay, well, we've done some investigating on it, okay? And you can call that girl and talk to her.
Okay,
There's no way to get a picture of, even off the cameras, unless it's through a police report.
okay,
And if there was no police report, which there wasn't, because you brought it up on the computer, it has to be somebody, basically, like what you said there, you got friends. And you told me you took the picture from a survey.
what's your point, Lloyd? I don't get the point. The point is, I'm trying to,
Well, I'm trying to find
and I didn't
out.
go public with any pictures here, right? You are now,
You
right?
showed them to me.
Is that public?
Should
You're
be.
making it public here,
Well, that's all right.
okay?
I asked you in your office, why did you want that picture? And you did not give me an answer on it. What was you trying to prove by getting this picture? Now you're saying it was given to
It
you.
was given to me.
Who gave you the picture? I mean, why would somebody give you a picture of something like that, okay? I went out to the employee that the picture was taken of.
There's no wrongdoing here, right? All the money's accounted for.
Oh.
Oh, there's
disagree-
wrongdoing.
I disagree with you on that 100%. You call that girl and talk about it, because she's doing an investigation.
Okay.
And she told me to come back here and to tell you
Okay,
that somebody out there is going to lose their job over it. There's Dirk. And she said that she hopes you feel good about it. That, you know, you were involved in, that somebody's gonna lose their job over it, taking pictures of the employees out there.
I hope you feel good about it,
I
because you're the
do.
one that went there.
I do, because I
Okay.
did my job.
All right, so we're back to the,
Ethically got a picture, provided that you didn't check into it, and you're a supervisor, and you.
well, you said, you want me to call her?
You can call her, sure you can call her.
All right, well, you said that you call her. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
give her a
call
call.
and talk to her. She should
So,
tell
okay,
you.
so we're back to the issue of internal controls for the town. That could be a separate issue, okay? I didn't take any pictures. I ain't losing sleep, okay?
Well,
I
that's a
find
wrong
it
phrase
interesting,
right
I
there.
find it, I will add one thing. I find it interesting that this thing got brought up about scrap metal the last meeting. It just happens to be two people just happened to be in the crowd that had a card that, oh, we can handle your scrap. The timing was just kind of ironic, I find, don't you? Or that you don't know nothing about that?
I'm not gonna sit here and comment on anything,
I just
okay?
made my little
You
statement.
made,
I
right.
did.
It's fine. I'm talking internal controls of the town. And you guys wanna talk about other things. That's okay.
That's done.
So,
Set up out there, so.
so the board does not wanna make a policy to deal with cash. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay,
At that junkyard,
that's
it's
fine.
already set up.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
When you go to the comptrollers, also tell them that Lloyd set up an account too. Make sure you add that to that.
I will do that. We're gonna move on to old business. And,
Can you get a copy of what you sent to the council?
hang on. The, Old business. What do you guys want to do with this ceiling repair out here?
We're gonna table that for the January 2nd organizational meeting as well.
Okay,
We've come up with, there's 3 solutions that's brought up by Chad. I think we have an idea which one we want to go through. We're going to discuss that, and by the next meeting, we're going to go with whatever option, 1, 2, or 3. And
okay, I just want to move it along because everybody is.
And then we're going to discuss who needs to do it, if the town employees need to do it, if there has to be any side contracting done, it'll be done at the January meeting.
Okay. And then, we're good with that. If that's how you want to handle that, that's fine, as long as we move it along. Vacancies, as you know, we have, multiple vacancies on the planning board and zoning board of appeal, and now the board of assessment review. So I think we've put in the paper for the, planning board and zoning board.
Yeah.
And we need to do a one for the BAR as well. And if I can just suggest, do it after the holidays, because I don't think anybody's really thinking about anything right now.
How many are we needing?
We need
Well, we need
4
For the,
for the Board of Assessment, no, 3 for the Board of Assessment Review, 2 for the Planning Board, and 1 for the Zoning Board, right?
How many for the zoning board?
1,
1 for zoning, 2 for planning.
3 for BAR. Okay, and I'm sorry, people, but as the chairman of the board here, I'm going to say no public comment tonight. We've had enough hostility, not having any more. We do not have any financial reports tonight because of the accountant broke her arm, Shelby, and they should have our financial statements in the next couple of days.
On the subject of financial reports, just like to let everybody here know that one of the financial situations we run into recently is we've been filed an Article 78 from our town judge, Judge Ted Spada. And our bill right now is a little under $19,000 to represent our own town against our own judge.
Well,
And it's getting dragged on where the bill, every time they have to call and postpone something, the meter keeps spinning. And it's concerning.
Yep.
well, how could that situation have been avoided?
By not filing an Article 78.
Are you saying that someone who feels that their property rights are being infringed upon has no legal right to representation?
Well, I think it's a poor case. I think it's a very poor case. And this thing has been dragged on for months and months and months. And in the end,
It's gonna get dragged on in January because it's gonna get postponed again, I understand.
yep, gonna be on vacation. So now we're looking at February and more bills.
Well, the clock doesn't tick when they're not doing anything, if they're on
It does.
vacation. So, yes, that's true. We have an Article 78 over zoning interpretations of people's property rights. And it's, I'm not going to choose a side here, but everybody deserves their day in court. And that's that. So thank you for publicizing that, Mr. Reitmeyer.
Absolutely.
And with that, I'll ask for a motion to pay the bills.
I got one more thing I'd like to add.
On what? Well, let's pay the bills first.
Well, this is just, let's go this before this.
Okay.
This is simple. Elaine might help me on this one. They're gonna have some training for the new people that are coming in as town council people, and it's at the, it's in Henrietta. The only thing I'm asking is it $50 for the new people coming in? Well, it's anywhere from $50 to $200. I see anybody new, it might be 50, some member.
Is that through the Association of Towns?
It is.
Yeah, yeah. That,
Just the only thing I'm asking, I'm planning on going, I've taken a day off of work for that. I just would like the town to pay the tuition for it. I don't, I'm not asking
Yeah, there's
for-
no issue with that.
Yeah.
The town has a longstanding understanding that we support education of our board members and teammates, so.
They're providing everything else there, so.
Yeah, that comes out of each department's contractual expense. You know, whoever goes, the board has contractual, we pay for it out of that. If highway wants to go to the highway thing, it comes out of contractual. Planning, zoning, same kind of business, but yes, that's fine. So with that, I want to ask for a motion to pay this month's bills. Motion by Chris,
Second.
second by Christopher. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:52.
Motion.
Motion by Christopher, second by Reitmeyer. Meeting adjourned.
Joe,
Meeting's adjourned.
I would like to know
I say the meeting's
why you
adjourned.
wouldn't share the email that you sent the attorney about that bucket. And isn't it true that you'd like to use the Association of Towns for legal advice? And when I got advice from the Association of Towns, you ignored it and said that I was allowed to do what I did, and you lied to the attorney, town attorney, which to get the decision you wanted, which means you're weaponizing our town attorney against people you don't want.
I'm not gonna participate in all this. If you guys want to, it's up to you.
I'm good.
I know you're good, Jerry. I know you're real good.
Hey, Joe,
In my office.
not alone.
Bring somebody.